Hello, this is QuickSkillz, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 12TB Kinhank Hyperspin Retro Console. Now this plugs directly into your computer, so your performance will vary depending on the specifications of your computer. And before you buy this item, please go to the description of this video and use my link to find it on AliExpress. There are a lot of similar products with very similar descriptions, and to ensure you're getting the same product that I am reviewing today, be sure to use my link in this description. Now in this video, we're going to be looking exclusively at the Nintendo GameCube. In a previous video, I did review the console as a whole. Now this emulator, this hard drive, comes loaded with over 600 GameCube games, and we're going to be taking a look at the list. It is quite extensive. Honestly, I'd be surprised if there are any games missing from this collection. And I'm not an expert in GameCube games, but there are hundreds upon hundreds of games that are going to give you thousands of hours of entertainment. And what we're going to be doing today is just pulling up a few games at random, some games that you probably want to play at home. The first one we're going to take a look at is Ultimate Spider-Man for the GameCube. We're just going to launch it up and see how it handles. So we do have Spider-Man loaded up here. You can see I am battling Venom. I do have the sound muted, but I can promise you that the sound comes in crystal clear. I just have it muted because there are going to be some instances where licensed music plays, and I want to make sure that this video doesn't get taken down. Now, one thing that you're going to find is that your controller is going to be pre-configured with certain settings, and so I had to take a few minutes to learn which one was A, which one was B, etc. However, once you figure out the mapping, it is pretty consistent between all the games, and so we are done pretty much looking at Spider-Man. I didn't have any issues loading this game. Let's move on to the next one. So now we have 1080 Avalanche loaded up on the GameCube. This was a fun game for me to play when I was a kid, and I still have a lot of fun playing it today. This is a complete playthrough of one of the maps, and just to show you the graphics, they are pretty much true to what I remember. The controls are a little wonky because I am using a PC controller, and it is not like a GameCube controller. Unfortunately, I don't have a USB GameCube controller that I can test to see if the mapping is exactly the same. However, I would imagine that it's going to be exactly the same if you can find a GameCube USB powered controller. But that being said, using a PC controller wasn't very difficult. It just took a little bit of adjustment to understand where the A button was, where the B button was. And so on most controllers, A and B are on the far bottom right of the controller. In the GameCube, A and B are on the left, so the A button is the lowest button on my controller, and the B button is the far left button on the controller, and then the Y was still north, and then the X button was still the far right button on the control scheme. Z, I think, is the R bumper, but I'm not entirely sure, and in reviewing this console, I really didn't find out which one was Z. I just was not familiar enough with the games, but I know the Z button works. I just don't know if it's left bumper or right bumper from playing the game. But this game is handling very well. The sound is coming in very easy, and I had no issues launching 1080 Avalanche. Let's move on to the next. Next up, we have Windwaker for the GameCube. This is a Zelda game I never played. I've seen it. It looks gorgeous. Here I am running through as Link. The graphics are coming in great. I was able to test out all the buttons. This game is great. I am actually excited to play through this. I might throw some videos of my experience as first time player of Wind Waker, but I will tell you that, again, do you see value in this console? Absolutely. $180, 12 terabytes of games. Just the GameCube games alone, you're going to spend anywhere from $200 to $300 just on the games that I've reviewed today. And then let's not forget, you have to find the GameCube and have a place for it to hook up. So with this retro console, not only are you getting all the GameCube games, you're getting all the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, Genesis, Dreamcast, etc. And so when I say that this is a great deal, $180 plugs right into your computer, all the emulators, all the ROMs that you need, you're going to have a good time playing this game. And one thing I want to show you is just some of the games that come included with the GameCube. So 638, there's just hundreds of them. So you can see we're scrolling down, we have Lord of the Rings, Luigi's Mansion. This is such a great find, so if you haven't done so already, go to the description of this video, click my link and buy this product. And keep in mind that it is coming from China, so it can take 2 to 3 weeks before it hits your door. So if you're trying to get it for the holidays, if you're trying to get it for a birthday party, be sure to order this well in advance because it can take a full 2 to 3 weeks. This is not Amazon Prime next day shipping, so keep that in mind. Before we jump into the next game, let's take a look at what's available on the GameCube. I'm not going to scroll through the whole list, but look here, you can see Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime Echoes. Let's just take a quick minute to look at all the games that are on this device. Okay, next up we have Rogue Squadron 2 for the GameCube. This is one of my all-time favorite games. When I got the GameCube for Christmas, it came with Rogue Squadron 2, so I played the heck out of this. Probably for like the next 2 or 3 months, this is all I played. And one thing I want to mention is that the graphics for the GameCube were very good. I mean, look at the screen, you have all those X-Wings on there. Look at the details that you can see on this X-Wing. This game came out over 20 years ago. And the controls were pretty easy to get used to on a PC controller. I'd love to find a GameCube controller so that I can really get the actual feel of playing a GameCube game on my PC. But from an emulator standpoint, from a ROM standpoint, everything is working exactly the way I remembered it. I was able to complete a few missions quite easily just with the setup that I have today. And you can see here, I'm playing Rogue Squadron. This is all a cutscene, but right now I'm going to jump into the X-Wing. We're going to test out the firing. We're going to test out how the game handles in real time. So there's no stuttering. There's no issues launching the game on the Kinhank Hyperspin launcher. And you can see here, I'm in the cockpit view. I'm able to do just about everything that you would expect to do in this game. I was very impressed with this game. Again, this terabyte hard drive is quite the find for anyone looking to get into retro games. So last up we have Super Mario Sunshine. The cutscene in this game was kind of cloudy. I couldn't really get it to come in at a clear resolution. However, the game itself handled just beautifully. You can see here, this is game time footage. It's actually better than the cutscenes. And this is pretty much going to wrap up my review of the GameCube. With confidence, I can tell you that every game that I launched very easily. It was easy to figure out the controls for the game. So if you're thinking about buying this Kinhank Hyperspin retro console for specifically the GameCube, I give this an absolute buy. You're gonna have a lot of fun going through the GameCube catalog among everything else that comes included. So there's there's GameCube, obviously, Dreamcast, some arcade games, things that you wouldn't have expected. The catalog is quite complete in just the GameCube. You're going to see right here some of the games that are found on here, but we're talking thousands upon thousands of games among PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. Go look at my other review if you haven't seen it, but I'm going to give this an absolute buy for anyone looking for a Nintendo GameCube emulator and ROM delivered to their door. And just remember, again, I know I mentioned this before, but give it 2 to 3 weeks to be shipped to your door, and use my link in the video description to ensure that you're getting the same device that I am reviewing here today. Well, thank you so much for watching. This is QuickSkillz. I hope you enjoyed the video. You have a good day.